Well, hello. Good evening. How are you all, or how are we all, should I say? As you can see there, I've put up the current table of the Drivers' Championship. Lewis Hamilton leading, as usual. And there is the Constructors' Championship next to it, with Mercedes 141 points ahead already. Absolutely incredible. But as you can see, Magnussen is at the bottom, and so is Giovinazzi. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the qualifying. So, Vettel on pole and Bottas in second. We are here at the Zandvoort racetrack in Holland. First time in Holland. Should be very interesting. Very cloudy, 78 degrees, and a wind speed of 13 miles per hour. Hello, Brian. I hope you're well this evening and looking forward to this another Formula 1 race that usually ends in tears or something usually goes wrong. So let's have a look what will happen tonight. Leclerc in third place, Verstappen in fourth, Hamilton down in fifth, unusual for him, Lance Stroll in sixth, the Canadian, Perez in seventh, Gasly in eighth, Magnussen in ninth, and Ocon in that Renault in 10th place. Very, very well done for qualifying. Very close on the qualifying, as you can see, first and second. But without further ado, let's get on with the race. You don't want to wait around, so let's move on.
Drivers, start your engines!
So the drivers all starting their engines, going to go on their courtesy lap, their parade lap around this Dutch track. Very, very nice track indeed here in Holland. Now we're using the old Zandvoort racetrack, not the present day one. And the reason for that is the present day one wasn't as fun as this one, believe it or not. And I felt this one was much more fun and interesting. And the reason why is because it's so tight to take over and overtake. So I thought, let's do it. Let's just use the old racetrack that they used to use in Formula 1 back in the 70s. So we're using this one today, and it looks more interesting, it feels more interesting, and there's a lot of bumps. When you go on board, the cars are constantly having to slow down because there's so many bumps. It's perfectly built, this track. Very, very well done. But we are here for the fifth round of the Formula 1, of course. And let's see who will win today. Will it be one of the Ferraris or one of the Mercedes as usual, or will we have a Red Bull up there in first position? I tested these cars, Brian, on the Isle of Man track that you were talking about. That was pretty cool. You need to get the this mod on that track. I know it's only 19 spots, so you have to take one out, but you know, who cares? Just take one of the back markers out. Yeah, and just literally sit on board one of these cars around the Isle of Man track. It is absolutely incredible. Very, very fast. So here we go then. The pace car will be going in, and we will have a green flag any minute. Pace car getting out of the way. We have a man standing on the track. I hope he's not a streaker. And we have a bit of a flickering pit stop. And here we go. Pit lane, I should say. Here we go. We're off for round 5 of the Formula 1 Championship. We're at Zandvoort in Holland. Very, very nice start from... Very, very nice start from the front of the grid here. Red Bull going off track. And it looks like we have Bottas in the lead already, going straight out into the lead. No messing about, as we've got a couple wide going around that back there. Very fast track. Not much going on. Let's have a look at the back. We've got Grosjean at the back of this grid, so just having a look through, see if anything interesting is going on. Very close racing around this track. There's Hamilton, Verstappen, Vettel, and there's Vettel, Leclerc behind him, and Bottas in the lead. This mod, Brian, if you use the Formula 1 mod from my website on the Isle of Man track, or even the IndyCar mod, whatever you want to use, just get an open wheel race car on the Isle of Man circuit. It is pretty hectic as they all go over the bump there around that corner. Absolutely brilliant driving from all of them there. They all hit the same spot, perfectly timed. Hello Jackson, how are you this evening? Here for the Formula 1. As we come down, how fast are they going down? They're going, see, they hit a bump there, you see. And this track is very bumpy. Let's go on board with Bottas. See what I mean there? After the, as soon as I get near the pit stop, there's a lot of bumps there. There's a lot. The cars going up and down, up and down. They don't seem to get very much of a top speed here because there's so many turns. It's such a stressful track for the driver and the car. The race after this, we are at Brands Hatch. It is meant to be Spain, I believe, in real life. In the real Formula 1 Championship, but I couldn't get the Spanish track to work on this game, so I decided to reinstall a European round into the Championship. So I've chosen Brands Hatch as the European round, which is round 6. Not much has happened. It's been a good start, Bowler. Very good start. Very clean. Not much is going on. We've got Bottas in the lead. And at the back we have Grosjean. Then we have Albon in that Red Bull down in 19th. Not good from him. Then in front of him we have Ricciardo. So we have two top drivers at the back. There's Lando Norris way down in 17th place now. There is Raikkonen up into 16th. And there we have the rocket car, the Williams car of Latifi. There is Daniel Kvyat, or Kvyat, however you want to say it. There's Sainz in that orange and black McLaren. Still don't agree with the orange and black. They should go back to either the red and white or the silver. There's another Williams, there's the Brit, George Russell. And we go to the Alfa Romeo of Gio Navazzi, who's second and bottom in the table, 11th at the moment. Nowhere near getting any points at the moment. There we have the Haas of Kevin Magnussen down in 10th in points position. Renault of... there's Ocon of that Renault car there, beautifully black and yellow. One of my favourites. There is Racing Point, or as I like to call them, Racing Pink. Perez in 8th place, looking to get some more points this round. Back to the AlphaTauri team, where we have Gasly doing very well in 7th. Back to Racing Pink, Point. Lance Stroll in 6th place. Then we have Hamilton, who qualified in 5th, who stayed in 5th, not moved up anywhere, not doing very well, not so confident on this track. Then we move up to Verstappen in 4th place in that Aston Martin Red Bull. Hello Fork, how are you? The Red Bulls not doing as well this season. As we know, we've already got 1 second from last on this grid at the moment. And there we have Leclerc in that Ferrari, going a little bit sideways there, putting too much acceleration, needs to slow down. This track can be very, very, very treacherous. And we have the car of the number 5 car of Sebastian Vettel up in 2nd place, and there is Bottas in 1st position. There is the current table for you for the drivers and the constructors championship. I have been keeping up with it, and I'm going to be watching it tonight. Hopefully, it's Richmond tonight, isn't it? The NASCAR iRacing. That should be very, very interesting. Look forward to watching that. So with the spectator cam, you can see the difference between 1st and 2nd, and I can assure you this race could go to pit stops, just like the All-Star race did yesterday, when it went all down to pit stops. We're on lap 5 of 34 here. Big race track this. Zandvoort, or Zandvoort, however you want to pronounce it. It's Mercedes leading this race by a huge margin of 2.57 seconds. So at the back again, we've got Grosjean and that Albon in that Red Bull, and it looks like we've got an AlphaTauri here taking on who I believe is Carlos Sainz. Is it Carlos Sainz? Yes, it is. Fighting it out for 13th place. They both come round, and the AlphaTauri backs off on the inside. Didn't have enough room to connect or make any movement up to position. Carlos Sainz will now be looking in his mirrors, hoping to defend this position, and hope that AlphaTauri hasn't got any chance of making another move on him. That move was down on the straight, the start line. Maybe it will happen again. Let's watch these two as they come round during lap 6. AlphaTauri is getting closer by the looks of things. So as they make their way back to the start-finish line, we'll have a look and see if that AlphaTauri can again catch that McLaren. It's the only straight on the track is the start-finish line. Only possible place really where you can overtake. AlphaTauri now going to push, but I just don't think they're going to have enough in that car. It's Daniel Kvyat, I should say, or Kvyat, however you want to pronounce that. But look, he's going to go again. He's going to go for it again. As you can see, he's going on the inside again. Could it be a costly mistake? He just doesn't have enough this time like he did last time round, but he has got a lot closer to that McLaren. I would say next time round things could change. We have a little race going on for 12th and 11th place between George Russell and Gio Navazzi in that Alfa Romeo, one of the beautiful cars on the track this year. So it seems to be between 11th and 14th place. We seem to be having some good racing going on, whereas at the front it seems to have gone a bit stale with Bottas so far ahead. 4.07 seconds ahead now of Vettel as we come down the hill, back down the hill towards the start-finish line. Lovely little track, Zandvoort. As I said, we're using the old track from the 70s rather than the new track. This is much more fun to watch. Such tight cornering. Oh, they all hit that there. So here we go. We're going to see if any of these four now go for a position, because we are coming to the start finish line again. Best place to overtake. Here we go. Will that Williams catch up with that Alfa Romeo? Will the AlphaTauri behind? The AlphaTauri looks like it's slowed up a little bit. They all slow down. There's such a big bump there. They all have to slow down. Let's have a look. Is Carlos Sainz going to go take over that Williams behind? Look at this, very close. And then we got these two, the Williams and the AlphaTauri, fighting it out. That was Kvyat and Latifi fighting it out there. Wow, that was very, very close indeed. So we seem to be having some awesome racing going on in the middle of the pack. But at the front, it's gone very, very stale. Bottas now 4.40 ahead. As I said, this probably will go down to pit stops. Fork is back. Guess who's back? Fork is back. Tell a friend. He is back. So let's go back to the middle of this field where we've got the Alfa Romeos, the Williams and McLaren. Williams again, another Alfa Romeo, all fighting it out for a position. But they seem to have made a little gap now between themselves, which should help in the long term. We have a Renault overtaking that Lando Norris McLaren. Will the Renault have enough? And I don't think it has. It's too tight round that turn. It's way too tight. The Tesla Cybertruck is back, or in Beam. I've never used it in Beam. Never ever used it. Never had the chance to download it. Probably do that tonight now you've mentioned that. So again, we are fighting it out in the middle of the pack with these boys here. There's that Racing Point, or Racing Pink. There is Lewis Hamilton, still in 5th place, 7 seconds behind the leader. There's Verstappen in that Red Bull looking for a podium place today. And there's Leclerc in 3rd, Vettel in 2nd, and Bottas in 1st place. His time cut short to 3.61 now, going into lap 10 of this race as they go over the bumpy part of the track and fly off. As you can see, we have the pace car view now, where you can see all the cars flying past, which is a lot better view sometimes. But no overtaking at the moment anywhere. It will be a pit lane, but we have Albon in that Red Bull. No, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He goes in too tight around that turn. It's so tight. And it's just the wrong positioning. Not going to happen. He stays behind that Renault of Ricciardo. Very, very bad showing from Ricciardo today. Cars all come round nice and safely. Luckily, no yellows as yet. Like 10. No cautions. That's what we like. Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc. And there's Vettel, who's cut that time down between him and Bottas to 2.75. So guys, we can see just by looking at that red prancing horse is actually catching up with the silver arrow in front of him. But is it too late already? This track is a funny one. It is really weird. Anything can happen. And that Mercedes is so far ahead. What will happen when they go over the start-finish line? What difference will it make to the time? So Vettel's off the time there. He's off the time, unfortunately. As we go to the pit lane cam, just to have a look as they go over the start finish line, see what is occurring, if anything's occurring at all. And nothing. That man still stood in the road. I'm a bit worried about him. Maybe he needs to go to the toilet. He looks like he needs to go to the toilet, and he's too scared to move, just in case. I did hear he had a curry last night, so he's got to be very careful, of course. So with the leader on lap 11, Valtteri Bottas doing very well. There's the league table for you. He's in second place behind Lewis Hamilton, and this will bump him up above Lewis Hamilton, I'm sure, if he can stay where he is and win this race. It'd be very, very good if he can. Mercedes top of the Constructors' Championship. No doubt about that. They have one of the best cars on the track. Not sure what lap pits will occur. They will occur, but when, I can't tell you. I wouldn't have a clue. Brian is the best person to ask. As we in pit lane can, we have Lewis Hamilton there taking over. That looked like he was taking over Verstappen, and he did. He took over Verstappen. Very, very nice indeed. Can Verstappen get back at him? Excuse me. It looks like the Mercedes seem to have a fast car here, because they've overtaken the Red Bull down that front straight. We could have a Mercedes catching up with that Ferrari now, which would be epic. Watching these two race now around this track. Will the Red Bull have enough to catch up with that Silver Arrow? You don't know if Formula wins. Not many people like Formula 1, to be fair. It's a bit like Marmite. You love it or you hate it. It's one of them things. I used to love Formula 1, like to death. I used to stay up stupid o'clock at night to watch it to the early hours of the morning, because it's on funny times. Obviously, if it's in Australia and when you're in England, it's on at like 5 o'clock in the morning, you know. I used to get up for it and everything, but now, since Hamilton keeps winning every season, I don't watch it anymore. It's just so uncompetitive now. Thankfully, that's what got me into NASCAR. I've always liked NASCAR, but it really got me into NASCAR, because NASCAR's so competitive. You could have someone start on pole, never win the race, you know, whereas people start on pole in Formula 1 and they seem to go on and win, as that Silver Arrow of Bottas has basically taken it's pushed that gap to 5.8 seconds, nearly 6 seconds. What's rude? I didn't say anything rude. I was being quite genuine then. I was being quite cool that, you know, Formula 1, I used to like it, but, you know, as Lewis Hamilton keeps winning all the time, it's not something that I like to watch anymore. I like to watch something with a bit more competitiveness. So will we have pit stops in this lap 13 or 34 coming down the straight now? It'd be interesting to see if we do have pits, but I just want to go behind and see if anything happens between these two. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like we're going to have pits either. So let's have a look from the pit road cam to see if anything occurs between that Mercedes and that Red Bull, where the Red Bull is a bit too far away to overtake that Mercedes, but they're so far ahead of the cars behind. Look, there's just like a little train going on behind. Absolutely incredible. There's that Red Bull trying so hard to overtake that Williams. It's not happening at all at the moment. Lap 14. I said, summarising, they may pit on lap 17, maybe halfway point. What does everyone else think? So at the back we've still got Grosjean at the back of the grid. There's Albon in that Red Bull still at the back. Such a bad showing from that Red Bull car and driver. As also Ricciardo, such a bad showing from him. He just can't seem to get out of that rut at the moment. There's Lando Norris down in 17th place. Raikkonen in 16th in the Alfa Romeo. There's Latifi in that Williams rocket in 15th place. We have Kvyat in the Alfa Tauri in 14th. Carlos Sainz in 13th. There's George Russell, the Brit, in 12th. Giovinazzi in 11th in the Alfa Romeo. There's the other Renault of Ocon in 10th. There we have Kevin Magnussen in 9th place now. Sergio Perez in Racing Point's pink car in 8th. No problem, Brian, no problem. And there is Gasly down in 7th place in the Alfa Tauri. There's a Racing Point car of Lance Stroll. Still no pit stops yet. Verstappen still in 5th. Cannot catch up with that silver arrow in front of him of Lewis Hamilton, who's moved up from 5th to 4th. I'll be impressed that he actually did that. But he's getting no closer to Leclerc. He's 4 seconds behind Leclerc in that Ferrari. And there's Vettel, who's cut the gap between him and Bottas down to 3.41. Bottas will be told that in his radio mic, but he probably won't care because he knows pit stops are coming up soon. That will make all the difference. He's got a big gap, a long chance to get in that pit stop before Vettel does and get out again. Oh, what's going on? Is he going in the pits? We're having pit stops. Lap 15 and they're all coming in the pits. Bit shaky here by the looks of things. What's going on? As they come in, it looks like the pit stop's in the water by the looks of things. Maybe there was a flood. Hello, Zach. How are you doing? So we have pits. Verstappen goes past pits. Oh, no! Oh! And it looks like Vettel hit Bottas in the pits there. You cannot be serious, everyone's saying. What happened there? Bottas is not going to be impressed. He goes back out, though, into 2nd place. Verstappen is now in 1st. As Vettel goes, Leclerc goes out, and the Red Bull of Albon continues. So Red Bull are on a different strategy to that of the top runners, Mercedes, Ferrari. Red Bull are on a completely different strategy. Verstappen now in front. Can he make a big enough gap where he can keep this lead from Bottas catching up? Will Bottas go back in after that little smack? I don't think so. Absolutely incredible. So Albon now up into 2nd place. Again, can he get around this track quick enough that Bottas can't catch him? I don't think so. Bottas is already hot on the tail of that Red Bull, but this man Verstappen is way ahead. He will have to go in the pits. They're on a different strategy to the top runners. Could make all the difference in this race now. As Red Bull go into the pits now to start their pit stop. We have Zach in the chat who thinks the Red Bulls will be at the front at the end of this. Interesting indeed. So what we'll do, we'll sit with this camera as we've got a McLaren still in the pits. Obviously issues there. So let's see who can come round. Can Albon hold off that Mercedes? He's not going to. As Bottas comes through, and so do the Ferraris. As another, oh, we got a chance here. What's going to happen? They're not going to touch. Oh, and Verstappen gets out into 3rd place in front of Leclerc. Wow, he will be happy. Oh no, Leclerc goes round on the outside. Wow, that was very close, and Verstappen goes back into 4th place where he started on the grid. Unfortunately for him, that is Vettel, sorry, not Leclerc, it was Vettel. Of course it was Vettel. No one else drives like that. Well done, Vettel, getting just in front of Verstappen there. Very, very clever stuff. But now we have a problem with Verstappen, who cannot keep that Mercedes off his back. That is obviously Lewis Hamilton, who's prancing like a Ferrari, but driving a Mercedes. You are half right. The race isn't over yet. We've got 17 laps to go. Things change. As you can see, look at this. We have a Red Bull Mercedes fight on our hands here. This is interesting because that Mercedes is way too quick for that Red Bull, as you can see. How long can Verstappen keep him off as Lewis Hamilton goes well out wide there? Maybe slip them a little bit of oil or something as they come around towards the start-finish line. Lewis Hamilton will overtake this Red Bull once he gets that straight. Once they come over the bumpy part of the track, you'll see him all bumping about. There you go, look, it's quite interesting. Will Lewis Hamilton catch up? I think he slowed up too much. Wow. Incredible scenes here in Holland. Verstappen has managed to keep Hamilton at bay for at least one lap. Can he do it for another lap? Incredible stuff. What's going on behind? So, not much going on behind. That's better than the 2020 season. I don't think that, but... Oh, what's going on here then? So we have another Red Bull. We have Albon and Ocon fighting out for 11th place. Red Bull going on the inside. But the Red Bull manages to better himself. So let's go back to this fight between these two. Again, not much. They've backed off. Well, Hamilton's backed off from that Red Bull. Bottas still leading this race. Led most of the race. Verstappen led for one lap. I don't even think he led for a lap actually before we come in. So we could have a Mercedes win here. Another win of the season for them. There is Leclerc in second place. Wonderful season he's having. Vettel in third. Could be doing a lot better. And we have Verstappen in fourth. But he will be having to hold on to that place with all he's got. Because he knows that there's a silver arrow right behind him. So let's go around the grid then. Let's go to the back. That is George Russell now at the back of this grid by the looks of things. And we have a couple of retirees. We'll have a look at that in a second. And there is Daniel Kvyat down in 17th. He'll be 16th now. Ricciardo up to 15th. Raikkonen in 14th place. There's Grosjean up to 13th. Now who's last. The first part of this race is now up to 13th. You'll be impressed with that. And we've got Albon and Ocon all fighting it out for 10th place. This is looking pretty epic here. We could have major consequences if one of these cars touches. We've not had a caution yet. It is due, I'm sure. Lap 19. Will it happen? These boys are getting very, very close together. Very, very competitive now. They all want points to move up the table. Ocon doing it very well and holding off that Red Bull and the Haas car behind. Not with Grosjean, not too bothered about what they're doing in front of him really. He's just hoping they don't touch each other. So the Haas car goes out wide there. So we come towards the start-finish line. We'll now see if any of these cars is going to make an attempt at overtaking as they come to the bumpy part of the track, the famous bumpy part of the track, which has caused so many crashes in real life. That's why they changed this track. You can see the dip from that other angle there. It's quite a dip. You can imagine why there were so many crashes years and years ago. But this was the original Formula 1 track of the 70s. And so far it's been pretty epic because we have seen some good stuff going on at the moment. But these guys seem to be spreading out a little bit now. So maybe that competition has stopped there. So we have a racing point car there. There is Giovinazzi in 9th, Magnussen in 8th. There's Gasly in 7th place. Racing Point Stroll in 6th. Very, very good from him. Back to Hamilton. He's still trailing in that 5th place. Can't manage to get back to Verstappen. Verstappen now obviously using his car as best he can on a good setup. So let's go to see who has dropped out of this race, and let's go to the official standings. So we have Latifi and Sainz have both pulled out of this race, both retired. Lando Norris is 2 laps behind, and Kvyat and Raikkonen are 1 lap behind. Sad to think that that is probably that's 2. Isn't that 2? No, that's 1 McLaren out already. Not good from them today. So it's 77 degrees in Holland. Cloudy, overcast, but blue sky. It's got brighter as the day's gone on. The wind has got a lot stronger though. You can tell the cars have been slowing down. We still have Bottas in the lead. There is George Russell at the back. There's another McLaren, one of the McLarens down in 18th being lapped, of course, as is Kvyat. So we have Ricciardo going into the pits again, which is on lap 21. And we still have these 3 fighting it out for that 11th place position. Perez is way ahead in 10th. Giovinazzi in 9th place. There's Magnussen in 8th. Gasly in 7th. So not much changing at the moment. But we will have another round of pit stops coming up very, very shortly. I guess as we've just seen another Renault go in. But perhaps that Renault's pulling out. He's been in there quite a while. Perhaps he is retiring from the race. Bottas now 4.90 ahead of Leclerc. Very, very huge distance between the two. There is Ricardo. So back to these guys here. Albon has finally got the better. Has gone past that Renault Ocon and the that is Grosjean behind him. This Red Bull seems to have a lot of power underneath it. He's down in 11th. Will come to the start finish line. Will he still be in 11th? Yes, he will. Still in 11th place. Because obviously Perez is in 10th. Bottas has got this one. Yeah, I think you're right. He's very, very far ahead. And I don't think there's going to be another set of pits, you know. I think there'll only be one set of pits. We better go ahead and find out what's going on with the man at the front. So he's coming down towards the start finish line again. We had pit stops on lap 17. I doubt they'll be needing them now. It'd be very, very, very silly. So come to the bumpy part of the track. He's coming up to back markers now as well, which will make all the difference to this race, because once he connects with these back markers it will slow him up, because it's such a hard track to overtake on, and that's when mistakes will happen, because he'll be slowed up and then he'll have these fast cars coming up behind him with nowhere to go. So we're going to start seeing maybe a caution may come out soon if this Mercedes car catches up with these back markers very soon. Predictions were wrong. Well, you can never predict anything in this, can you? Let's be honest. Especially in Formula 1. Last time, I think Vettel was leading the whole race. He had a bad pit stop and lost on like second to last lap or something silly like that. It was weird. So Bottas has got a bad reputation for pitting on the penultimate lap. He's done that 2 races now. Don't know why, because Hamilton doesn't follow him in, so it's just him that does it. So I don't know what that's about. Perhaps his girlfriend's in the pit stop or something. I don't know. Perhaps he just doesn't trust her with the pit stop guys. I don't know. But yeah, he seems to pit quite a lot, Bottas. So watch this space. So no pits as the Ferraris come down. Looks like Vettel's catching up with Leclerc as they come to the first turn from the start-finish line. Will Vettel catch that prancing horse in front of him as Verstappen is watching what is going on from behind? Hamilton can't catch up either. There is Lance Stroll in 6th place. There's Ricciardo in 15th, very, very far behind. So we have these boys here. We have Gasly and it looks like Magnussen in that Haas car is about to overtake that AlphaTauri, or was it a Williams? It was an AlphaTauri. But no, it went the wrong direction. If you go in the inside on that turn, you have no chance getting around anyone. There's the AlphaTauri. There is the AlphaTauri of Gio Navazzi. Perez in 10th. And we get back to these guys up here. There is Kimi Raikkonen, way back. Albon in 11th. Grosjean in 12th. And there is Ocon, who's gone into the pits. So he's already having another round of pits. Does that mean we will potentially have a Mercedes, Ferrari, Mercedes pit stop? Again, it looks like it could be now, and it looks like it's going to happen. Let's go to pit stop camera. We're having another set of pit stops, 7 laps after the last round. And it looks like Vettel is continuing round. Oh, this could change big things now as Verstappen continues, and so does Hamilton. We only have Bottas and Leclerc in the pits. What does this mean? This will certainly, almost certainly, change things. We have a Racing Point car coming, and we have a Renault that's continuing as well. So Bottas goes out. Oh no! No! Is there something wrong with the car? No. Whew, that was lucky. That was lucky. I thought the car was going to stall then. And I thought it was game over for Bottas. That would have been so bad. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. What about a non-points race with the Nation Cup cars and the old Piston Cup cars? Do you know what? That is one of the best ideas I've heard. What an idea. Why did I not think of that? I am taking that idea and I'm going to use it. You can't sue me because you can't. I am taking that idea. Very nice idea. I could do that actually. I'll do that in a What If series. What If number 10. What if the Nations Cup cars raced the Piston Cup cars? So we'll have like the top 20 of the Piston Cup cars and the top 20 of the Nation Cup cars. 40 cars racing. Where should we do it though? What do you think would the best track be? Daytona? Or Indy? Or Talladega maybe? What are your thoughts? Where should we do that? Because that'd be cool. Auto Club maybe? Or even Charlotte? So we're looking to see if... well, obviously... we're looking at the pit stops. So now we have Vettel in. And we also have Hamilton in. But now we're looking to see when that Mercedes will come round. There is the Mercedes of Bottas. Oh! 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 And there he goes. There he goes. The Mercedes is stuck. Oh no! We've had a crash in the pits. We've had a crash in the pits. That is Vettel and Hamilton. Couldn't have happened to a better person. Oh my god, that was not good. You really need to look where you're going, Hamilton. That was not good. Talladega. You think we should do it at Talladega? You can do it. Here's what if number 11. What if I do it first? By all means, you do it first. You carry on. Just make sure you give me the link so I can watch it, obviously. Wow, I cannot believe that happened. So, what is happening here, guys? We have Verstappen in the lead, but is he actually in the lead? Because will he go in the pits now? No, he's continuing on. Verstappen is actually in the lead, ladies and gents. Your eyes do not deceive you. The Red Bull has only gone and taken over front grid at the Dutch or the Holland Grand Prix. Wow. Vettel in second place. Bottas down in fourth. I'm sure that will all change as the pit stop, as they come over the start and finish lines. Let's go behind. So they're going over the start finish lines now. So there you go. So it is Bottas in second. You have Leclerc in third, Vettel in fourth, Hamilton in fifth place. Wow. That was something else, that was. And we have Verstappen here in first. On lap 27, 7 ago. He's in first. That was probably the last round of the pits. Who said the Red Bulls were going to end at the front of this race? Who said that? They know who they are. Wow, this is cool. The orange wall must be going crazy for their Dutch hero. Look at how happy those blurry people look. I know! Can you see their faces? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got a Red Bull going in the pits. I thought he stayed out longer than the others. Hamilton's back in because he stacked it into that Ferrari of Vettel. We have an issue with the pit stop there. Oh no! Oh! Oh! That was a bit payback. That was, as Hamilton buggers off and gets out. It's like, what'd you hit me for? No need for that. And it looks like now we are going to have a Bottas overtake and go back into the lead Red Bull. Oh no. Oh no, Zach. Oh, I think Mercedes have just taken the lead. Oh my god. I didn't know. I thought Verstappen had been in already. But he hadn't. He stayed out for 3 more laps. But still hasn't got first place. Bottas will take first place when he goes back over the start-finish line. Oh no. I will do Piston Cup versus Nation Cup. I think that'd be cool. I'm going to have to think about that though, because the Nations Cup cars will have eyes in them. Has anyone got an issue with that? Because the only way to keep the eyes in the Piston Cup cars is to have it actually in the series mod. So you're going to have Nation Cup cars with eyes in, and you're going to have Piston Cup cars with Nation Cup slogans on, or logos. Is that going to be an issue, do you think? Or should we just take the eyes out for one race? What do you reckon, guys? So Bottas will go over the start-finish line into first place. It looks like Hamilton's having issues with that car now after he stacked it in to Vettel. Oh, lovely pass there. Coming out of the pits was that Williams. Bottas goes back into the lead. Leclerc 3.96 seconds behind now. Probably too far away, but we do have traffic in front of this Mercedes, which will make all the difference. Will that Renault of Ricciardo move out the way? He's way behind in lap terms, so I would suggest he would move out the way, but we don't have blue flags on this game, so he will not move out the way officially, and it looks like Bottas is going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and overtake him where he can. And you think the eyes will be fine? Okay, I'll test it anyway. I'll test it all before we do it, but I think that'd be cool. But that's a brilliant idea, absolutely brilliant idea. Love that. Coming towards the stray. Oh, I thought Bottas was going to touch his wheel then. Oh, this is getting hairy Mary. Gee Louise. Did Bottas stop then or what? Bye-bye, Bottas. The Renault car says, you're not getting past me. I'm slowing you right up. Leclerc is going to catch now because he's 1.92 behind. Just downloaded the Nations Cup set. Oh, that's it. Zach's doing it. He's on it. He's doing the Piston Cup versus the Nations Cup. send me the link. I want to watch, because if you do it, I won't bother. No, I will do it. So we have Bottas trying to undertake that Renault, but it's not going to happen, and it has. The Renault concedes. He knows he's got to concede, and luckily the technology of the AI there conceded and moved out the way and didn't get stuck in the way of that Mercedes. Let's hope this Mercedes continues its storming advance in this race. We have 4 cars on back laps, and we have that Renault there of Ricciardo's actually last on the grid. The number 3 is the last one on the lead lap. I do apologise, the last guy on the lead lap. Lewis Hamilton now down in 13th after that little smack into Vettel. Vettel in 4th, and obviously Verstappen in 3rd. Which is good. It'd be nice to see a Red Bull on the podium, and Leclerc in 2nd place. No more pitting now. We're starting lap 30, and we'll continue lap 31. I do apologise. 3 laps to go here at Zandvoort in Holland. We have a Mercedes at the front, and we have a Mercedes in front of him of Hamilton, who's really messed up because of that little crash. He hit into Vettel on purpose, and he may get a ban for that. There is Lando Norris down in 18th place. We have Ocon in 12th now. He was in 10th earlier. Kvyat down in 17th. Bad positioning from him today. Grosjean in 11th, was 10th. There is Albon in 10th now. Very good for Albon. He started well at the back of the grid and has moved on up very rapidly. Giovinazzi in 9th place. There is your Bottas prediction may come true. There is Perez in 8th. Very good race from Perez. And there is Gasly down in 7th from that AlphaTauri. In front of him is a Haas car of Kevin Magnussen. Now Kevin Magnussen will be really impressed. No cautions as of yet, Brian. Don't jinx us. You know what happens when we get jinxes in this game. There is 5th place Lance Stroll, the Canadian, in that racing pink car. Pink. Raikkonen way down in 16th. What a bad season he's having. Vettel down in 4th. There's Verstappen in 3rd, who led the race for a while. There's Leclerc getting stuck behind back markers of George Russell and Daniel Ricciardo in that Renault and Williams. And then obviously we have Bottas at the front, 6.98 seconds ahead of Leclerc. We're on lap 32, 2 to go, no cautions as of yet. Let's hope it continues. This will probably be the first Formula race we've had on this championship where we've not had any yellows, which is surprising. And as you know, I do test tracks now because of past incidences with yellows. And I tested this track about 10-12 times, and I've had at least 2 yellows in every race. So this, touch wood, will be a perfect race, as they say. Let's go back on board with Bottas, shall we? So lovely driving from Bottas there as he goes on to start lap 34 behind Lewis Hamilton there, who's not in this race anymore. He's back in 13th place. Watkins Glen, Brian, is one of my favourite. Remember last time we used Watkins Glen, we had 17 cautions. There's the white flag. That man actually moved. He actually moved. I thought if he was going to move, he'd poo his pants, but he hasn't. He's actually got a life. Wow. I thought he was just a statue sat there. But he's got a white flag, and we are on lap 34. And Bottas now behind his teammate, and I'm sure his teammate will move out the way. No need for him to race each other. No need for Bottas to really push it. He's 8 seconds ahead of second place Leclerc. Leclerc being 4 seconds ahead of Verstappen. So a big distance. But Verstappen and Vettel are very, very close together. Let's see if we can go back quickly. There's Leclerc. And there is Vettel and Verstappen. Can Vettel catch up that Red Bull? I don't think so. I think that would be too much to ask. So as we come around the last few turns of this race, 5th round of the Formula 1 World Championship. Imagine there being a safety car now. It would be epic, wouldn't it? But it's race over anyway, isn't it, really? If the yellow comes out now, they're finishing these positions. As Bottas goes on to complete this race and win the 5th round of the Formula 1 World Championship. The checkered flag is out. We have Bottas on the podium in 1st place. Great win. Let's go back as we have Leclerc in 2nd. Verstappen in 3rd. Vettel not managing to catch up with that Red Bull. And there is Ricardo, sorry, way behind. There we have Lance Stroll coming in 5th on this grid. Behind him, that is, of course, Phil, is it Phil or Paul Gasly? Can't remember his name. Oh, he's going to try racing to the start-finish line, but it ain't going to happen. Not going to happen today. Wow, what a race. Very, very good. Will Hamilton wreck his teammate? No, definitely not Jackson. I don't think so. Anyway, let's... did he actually overtake him in the end? Looks like he has. No, Hamilton's on a mission. He's going back to the pit stops. Could you imagine what it's going to be like for them guys now? He's going to go mental at them, because that's what Hamilton does. Whenever he loses, he strops and cries like a baby. If only we could see it happen. It would be so much fun. Bottas, Leclerc and Verstappen make it on to the podium this time around. 25 points for Bottas. Old jokes are just the best. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jackson. And who else has been here? Thank you, the guy. I'm sure I've seen the guy. Thank you, Bowler. And thank you, anyone else. Fork as well. Thank you all for coming by and seeing this race and sitting with me. The points will be updated on the website later, as we don't use the NASCAR 2003 point system. We use the official Formula 1 point system, so Bottas will get the 25 points, of course, and Hamilton will get no points today, so Bottas will go top of the standings. So thank you for watching, everyone. It's been absolutely brilliant to have you all here. Thank you again to the suggestions for some different races, which I love the suggestion of, and I love taking on new suggestions. So if you have any, let me know. And see you tomorrow night for the Nations Cup. It's the Nations Cup tomorrow for the 5th round. Thank you, Jackson. And that will be at 9 PM UK time. Okay, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe, the usual stuff. And I shall see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day today or evening, wherever you are. Be safe, keep locked down, and keep very, very hands-free from people. As you know, touching people could cause viruses. Be safe, guys. See you tomorrow. Take care.